Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic Live. I'm your host, Neil Johnson, and I am very, very, very excited to bring you this report because what's going on in California is a travesty. Okay. It's absolutely awful. Small business owners are being looted. There's a whole host of terrible outcomes from this. But as much as they are trying to gaslight us, it is not working. I am going to show you something that will blow your ever-loving mind. So please do me a favor, smash that like, do chat in with where you're from. Let's help get this stream out there. Share it out on your platforms because this is going to be a fun one. And I'm going to start out, I'm going to just let a video play. In fact, I'm going to pull myself out so you can just watch this video in full. This is done by a guy by the name of Tom Elliott, who has a media company called Grabian. I love his stuff. He's on X. You can find him over there. But let's watch this real quick.
LA County police say that they have it under control. Carrying a flag is not illegal, as you know. What did happen in 1992 was so different from what we're seeing now. I mean, that was a real riot.
Video after video has shown that these agents are the ones provoking protesters and also making up, aggression by these protesters that later video shows people were not aggressive.
We are having an administration that's targeting peaceful protests, people that are there to protest. The president is sending the National Guard because he doesn't like the scenes. He doesn't like the scenes of people peacefully protesting.
The unrest is isolated. LA is home to millions of people, most of whom are having a normal day here on Sunday.
You know, you've heard reports that there are riots on the streets of Los Angeles. That is not what's happening across the city of Los Angeles.
Governor Newsom's right. There wasn't anything like a riot happening on Friday, Saturday.
We just witnessed a protester thanking a National Guardsman for his service here in California.
LAPD, by most estimates, had this under control last night.
No, I don't think the National Guard is needed now. Things in LA are calm. There was a protest that got a little unruly late at night.
There have been no violence where anybody that was protesting hit anybody, shot anybody, threatened anybody. Nothing has happened.
What is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn.
Most of those demonstrators were very peaceful. They were chanting, they were shouting. People were driving by, honking their horns.
Folks, it was just a friendly neighborhood get-together. They were just watching the cars burn and enjoying it. Do me a favor. Again, please smash that like. Chat in with where you're from. We got to get this out. Don't worry. This report's going to get even better as we get into it, folks. I've got all kinds of good video footage for you, and I have the greatest news you're going to get today. But I do need to mention my sponsor really quickly, folks, and that's Birch Gold. Okay, we are a few days away from what has been dubbed the real reset. Now, that's the greatest threat to the U.S. dollar's dominance in over 80 years. On July 6th, BRICS nations, that's Russia, China, India, Iran, and many more, are expected to unveil their plans to circumvent the U.S. dollar, thus greatly affecting its value. They've already been laying the groundwork as their central banks have been methodically divesting from the US dollar and US bonds in favor of gold. So how can you protect your IRA or 401k from the fallout of this landmark shift? Diversify to gold with Birch Gold, folks. You can text Lumberjack to 989-898. No obligation, just useful information. You can buy regular physical gold, silver just to have on hand, or you can invest in a tax-deferred, tax-sheltered IRA or 401k. So text Lumberjack to 989-898. Folks, I have just the most fabulous news for you here. Okay, I want to share one more video with you, though, before I get into this big bomb that was just dropped. So watch this one. This is Maxine Waters. And I want you to hear her speech in full. You saw just a little bit about a bit of it on that other video. They are trying to gaslight us, and it's not working.
And even those who were out of step with what we are advocating, peaceful protest, did not create any violence. Nobody was shot. Nobody was killed. Get it in your head. And so when martial law is called, what are you going to say? I missed the point. Don't miss the point, you all. Don't think that somehow, because they called out the National Guard, there was violence. There was no violence. I was on the street. I know. And I went from downtown detention back out into the community, talking to people what happened in Paramount, what happened in Compton, what happened in Inglewood. So, first of all, get it straight. And don't just rely on what you're being told or the few incidents that you saw.
Folks, I just want you to know there is no violence. Maxine Waters has informed us what you are seeing is not happening, right? It's like in Star Wars. These are not the droids you are looking for. It is absolutely wild how they are attempting to lie and gaslight us. But folks, this is where I get to my favorite part. I got a bunch more videos to show you. I put together a great show for you here today, so hang with me on this one, okay? But I have a massive winning report, because as much as they're doing this and as much as they think it's working, it is 100% not working. And I have the proof right here. So again, if you're new, please do subscribe to the channel, but check this out.
Start off on the fact that immigrant citizens, immigrant voters, foreign-born voters have gone tremendously to the right on this issue in 2024.
He's coming through a little soft, folks. Turn up your volume if you're having any trouble with this.
Start off on the fact that immigrant citizens, immigrant voters, foreign-born voters have gone tremendously to the right on this issue in 2024 and 2025 versus where they were in 2020. Closest to or trust more in immigration. You go back to 2020. Democrats, get this, held a 32-point lead on this issue. Immigrant voters were in the Democratic camp. Jump forward to 2024, 2025. Look at that shift, a 40-point shift to the right among immigrant voters. Republicans now lead on this issue by 8 points over Democrats, more so than any other group that I could find. The group of voters who became more hawkish on immigration were in fact immigrants themselves, immigrants who are registered to vote in this country.
So that's on that issue. How about how they feel about...
Folks, do you see how massive this is? So this was the thing. You have to understand, you have to go back to George Bush and you have to go back to Barack Obama, where they told us that if we didn't, if Republicans took a hard line on immigration, we would lose in perpetuity because it would upset all these immigrants who are here. But that's not what's taking place. In 2020, this was an issue that was plus 32 points to the Democrats among immigrant citizens. Not illegal aliens, but immigrant citizens. Now the GOP is plus 8 points, folks. That is a 40-point turnaround with an even higher number of people. And it's getting even better. Wait till you see the rest of this report.
Kind of traditionally, historically, about Donald Trump.
Yeah. So, you see this shift and you go, what is going on underneath the hood? Well, take a look, Donald Trump. You remember when he first ran back in 2016, immigrant voters were one of his weakest spots. But look at this. Trump's vote share in presidential elections among, again, immigrant citizens, those who are registered to vote. Look at this. 2016, he got 36% of the vote. You go to 2020, 39% of the vote. Look at this. In 2024, all the way up to 47% of the vote. Some polls I looked at had him barely losing that vote. Some polls I looked at had him barely winning that vote. Again, there is no block of voters that shifted more to the right from 2020 to 2024 than immigrant voters. And Donald Trump, at least in some surveys, actually won that vote. On average, it's about equal. So there may be all this stuff.
Okay, so now check out what this Harry Anton, I love how he gets so into this, but I want you to think about this. These are immigrant citizens that he is picking up this massive share of the vote, 11 points more than he did in 2016, 8 points more than he did in 2020. And those are probably suppressed numbers, okay? So why, I ask you in my audience, and please type this in the chat, why do you think immigrant citizens have shifted so far on this issue? Why would it be immigrant citizens and not long-term U.S. citizens that have shifted this greatly? This is one of the groups that we've seen the greatest swing within. So why immigrant citizens? I have an answer. I'm curious to see yours as I continue playing this video, and then I'll give you the answer I think it is.
Right about undocumented immigrants and Trump being harsh on them, but immigrant voters themselves have increasingly liked Donald Trump and have increasingly moved to the right on immigration into the Republican camp.
Well, then on that, what you're getting at, how immigrant citizens, voters, feel about people in the country illegally.
Yeah, and this is where it all kind of comes together, Kate Baldwin. Look at this. The net favorable rating, immigrants who are here illegally, among immigrant citizens, again, those registered to vote. In 2020, look at this, plus 23 points on the net favorable rating. But look at where we were in 2024, minus 6 points, underwater. So immigrant citizens have become increasingly unfavorable in their views of those immigrants who are here illegally. So I think it's so important when we're talking about this debate from a political angle to separate those out who are undocumented immigrants versus those who are here legally and those who are citizens and those who are voters, because that group of voters has felt increasingly distant from those immigrants who are here legally. And so again, when we're talking about this, at least from a political angle, this is why Donald Trump feels so comfortable, because in fact, amongst the group that you would think that would be most opposed to this, in fact, they become increasingly favorable, not just towards Donald Trump, but towards a Republican point of view on immigration and becoming distant from those immigrants who are here illegally.
Yeah, an important baseline to consider as this
is so awesome because, again, there's a vast difference between those who are here illegally and those who are here legally. But I needed to highlight this comment from JCV Acaro or whatever. Anyways, here's the deal. They don't want to become what they left. Folks, we were getting, when President Trump said that they were releasing them from prisons and mental institutions, he was actually right. And so what's happening is they know, and they can see it in their communities because of the ties back to those countries, who's coming into their neighborhoods, and they know that we are not getting the brightest and the best. Okay, that's why they are so opposed to this illegal immigration. That's why they are so in favor of a proper vetting process, because it hasn't happened. Okay, and they don't want to see America destroyed and become the shithole that they left, folks. That's what's going on, I believe. Okay, like I'll show you another video here. Check this out. Firing motors at the cops. I just want to point out here. Just stop this. So you guys see this? They've got like basically a barricade, so the cops can't shoot at them. Why are they even allowed to put this up on the street? Do you know what I would like to see right about now? I would like to see a bunch of Bearcats run that crap right over. How many of you are with me? Let's just have Bearcats running that crap right over and getting the streets back. In fact, grab a bulldozer. I don't care. Shove that crap all in a pile. Take a front end loader, throw it in a dumpster, and get it the heck out of Dodge. That's where I'm at with this, because you don't get to take over our city streets because you're an illegal alien who doesn't like the fact that you're getting deported. But let's watch this play on. Hey, how can that be legal? Why aren't they arresting them all and doing the Bearcat? That's what I want to do. I believe that this will determine where we go with immigration and all these protests. Folks, here's my public service announcement for you. If you didn't know, I think it's this Saturday, they've got these big protests, right? No King or something like that. I can't even remember, sponsored by one of the Walton daughters. Anyways, from Walmart fame. And my PSA is don't go to them, folks. They're doing the damage to themselves at this point. You don't need to go out and counter protest. You don't need to do any of it, because don't worry, they're giving you all the highlight reels that we need. Okay, their carnage, their destruction, their nonsense, waving Mexican flags. And I did just drop a video, folks, and if you haven't seen it, you need to. My mods can drop my most recent upload in the chat. But folks, you have got to see that video, because on there you will see undercover video footage of what they are planning to do, because they realize that all these Mexican flags being waved around on top of burning cars is not quite the image that they're looking for, because it's producing these numbers that are absolutely insane that I just showed you. Here, let's watch another one. Okay, this is another gaslighting video from the mainstream media. And you say, oh, Neil, you should give these people airtime. No, you should, folks, because it is lunacy. And you should actually, you know what? I'm going to go to something else. I'm going to share something special from my friend Clipkeeper with you. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do this. I'm going to hit pause on it, because then I got to bring it in. Okay, then I got to crank up my volume for you. Hold on, because you're going to love this. This is from November 13th, 2023, and Clipkeeper on X. I'll just show you here. Let me pull this in right there. Simple way to get Democrats to clean up California. Just tell them President Xi is coming. So do you guys all remember this? Check this out. They can do it. Gavin Newsom could do it.
While San Francisco is in the spotlight for the Asia Pacific Economic Conference, city leaders are making sure the city shines. Caltrans repaving major roadways like the Harrison Street off-ramp from the I-80. BART doubling down by deep cleaning their stations overnight more often. Scrubbing and power washing is happening all over the city. It's noticeable how clear the streets look and how few homeless encampments there are.
San Francisco Standard captured this encampment on Van Ness Avenue and Eddy Street 2 months ago. This week, a completely different look. Mina Street.
You guys see this? I mean, do you guys remember this? President Xi was coming to town, and Gavin Newsom and the mayor of San Francisco were able to pull off this amazing feat of getting all the homeless people off the street. We still wonder what happened to some of those homeless people. But anyways, getting all the homeless people off the street and then power washing everything. Now, they won't do this for American citizens as their normal public duty, but they will do it for a communist leader. These people are sick. I am telling you, the Democrat Party is a sickness. It's all mentally deranged nonsense.
Between 7th and Julia Streets with multiple tents 2 months ago. This week, cleared.
I know folks say, oh, they're just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true. Because
here we go. Gavin Newsom just said something true, folks. Oh my gosh, it happened. I mean, did you ever think you'd see the day where Gavin Newsom told the truth before this video? Yes or no in the chat. Curious.
Because it's true.
Again, this is my friend Clip Keeper. We've communicated on X. It's D Gray Texas 45. If you want to give him a follow, great account to follow. They're playing this gamble, and I'm going to move on to this, and then I'll get back to some more videos. But Newsom gambles in showdown with Trump over riots. It's impossible to prove. And that's why it may be Governor Gavin Newsom's and other California Democrats' perfect attack line against President Trump. California Democrats, led by Newsom, are trying to pin the blame for a riot's chaotic escalation on President Trump's decision to call in the National Guard to control it. Now, what's wild about this is we've all been watching the videos, and we understand that this occurred before the National Guard was ever brought in. Right? You guys all know this, right? I just want to make sure. I'm going to pull out and just take a look at my chat here. But I think that America is getting it due to those numbers that I just showed you a little bit earlier. But you all do understand, right? The timeline on this, that the riots had been in full force before the National Guard showed up, right? I mean, you guys all understand this. All right. So it's wild to me that they're utilizing this line of attack, but maybe some people don't know. That's why I'm asking you to share this stream, because the numbers, all those clips I shared at the beginning, all of this is so important because the Democrats are trying to control the narrative. Do not let them control the narrative. I don't care if you clip this stream up. I don't care how you use it. Okay, I don't feel like, oh my gosh, my copyrighted material, and you might just do whatever you want to with it. Just get the word out, okay? Anyways, Newsom, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, and many other state and local politicians over the last 48 hours argued they had rioters in Los Angeles under control before President Trump usurped their authority by calling in the National Guard, a step they blame for inflaming tensions and causing even more violence and chaos. Okay, so this is their line right now that they're using, and it's bullcrap, and it's not going to work. Because did you guys see the video of 3 city blocks of police cruisers coming down the streets? Have you guys all seen this video? Yes or no? I'm just curious if you've seen this. Maybe I should have pulled it in here. But 3 city blocks, law enforcement coming from, I believe, 14 different agencies across the state of California that Mayor Bass and Gavin Newsom worked on getting in there. Now, let me ask you a question. Did that happen? Did that happen before or after the National Guard? Before or after the National Guard? Because this is very crucial. I mean, I just saw this actually taking place the other day. Do you think that they made these calls after or before? They made the calls after Trump announced that the Guard was coming in so they could show that they were actually serious about crime. They always lie. They always lie. So At that point, Trump had already made the call, National Guards coming in, and then they knew that they would look weak and feckless if they did not get some police presence there on the streets. That's where that came from. That's where that's at. Now watch this clip.
Folk have their red meat. Now that they're going to see the spectacle of quote unquote LA on fire, which it's not, right? What will happen? Will he activate the ugliness that got him in office in the first place? Will folk now declare why they love him? Because we know that he's always good.
I think Dana Bash is one of the absolute worst moderators or anchors on TV. I'm really serious about this. She is just horrendous. Do you all agree with this? I mean, I think she is the worst of the worst. The people she has on and how she interprets the news, it's absolutely wild to me. This is not the ugliness of America. This is America simply wanting to have a border.
On the immigration question. And then the second thing, this reminds me historically of it's not a clear analogy, but when the nation, when these political factions divided the nation in between slaveholders and slave catchers. When they made everybody with the fugitive slave law, all of us had to, if someone.
Do you guys remember who the slaveholders were? Do you remember like the Civil War? If you guys read enough history, do you know who the slaveholders, the slave masters were? Were they Democrats or Republicans, folks? It's very fascinating. They use a different way to keep people enslaved today.
Escaped. All of us had to return that particular piece of property to these folk. With ICE running around LA, forcing people to make choices. Will they protect their friends, their neighbors, their family members? Will they confront these folk and they're terrorized? I'm sitting here trying to figure out, right, what will the country stomach? Are they going to allow this?
A lot more. Will us stomach a lot more deportations. This guy never complained when they left the border wide open. And now we have a bunch of criminal cartels running around our nation.
And to do this. And the answer that I keep coming to is yes.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know what else to say.
No.
How can I? Here's the thing. Donald Trump, as a political charlatan of sorts, gives Americans license to be who they really are. They don't have to pretend. And when you see what they really are, who they really are, these people who support him, right? It's dark. It's dark, folks.
I guess my hope.
Dana Bash with her big sigh, folks. So this is what they believe. Do you know what this is reminiscent of? Remember when Michelle Obama said she wasn't proud of America? But when Barack Obama became president, she could be proud of America. This is how these people think about it. They are the most anti-American Nazis, scum. Not Nazis. I'm sorry. They're communists is what they are. Anyways, please smash that like. Again, please share this stream out. Let's see if we can get to over 2,000 on the stream. We're only 146 away. Here, I'm going to give you another great clip. See, they are losing this. No, actually, here, I'm going to skip ahead. I'm going to give you guys something fun. How many of you, in fact, let me ask the question before I pop this video up just for fun. How many of you would like to see a rooftop rioter who's throwing rocks at police get beanbagged? How many of you would like to see that? Yes or no in the chat. How many would like to see that? Because I am telling you what, some people are like, oh no, I can't possibly see that. It's not too close. Don't worry. You won't see any. We'll keep it YouTube safe. All right. Me. All right. We got somebody. You want to see it? Well, look at all you yes folks. All right. Here we go. He's just up there thinking, oh, these people are thinking, oh my gosh, I can just sit up here and do cell phone and rain rocks down from rooftops and they can't do anything to me. Apparently, folks, they can. Beanbag, less lethal. It looks like maybe 2 people got it, actually. Anyways, I did give it to you again, folks. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Okay. Now, this is wild. Okay. And I know some of you think, oh, The View ladies, this you're going to actually like. This is from The View. Watch when they get some realization of what's really going on.
counterproductive to the very cause that you're advocating
Well, and it
for.
feeds into what he wanted to do. What he wants to do is he wants to create a scene. He wants to say, I was justified in sending in the National Guard because look at how violent these protesters are.
See, but they are violent. See, they are really struggling right now because it's working. They're seeing the poll numbers coming out, folks. So watch their faces. This is glorious, okay? Don't oh no, Neil, don't show the ladies of the view. Don't give them any air. No, watch this because they are having a freaking meltdown over this.
They were not until this was exacerbated.
Yes, thank
but
you.
I think he has a strategy here. He is losing support in every area. Inflation, the economy, tariffs, foreign policy.
Do you realize, folks, that when Ronald Reagan came into the presidency, he lost some support initially because rates went sky high, interest rates, until we had the effects of Reaganomics and the economy took off? Same thing with Trump and his tariff policies. There's a lot of money being repatriated to the U.S. that does take a while to catch up, but you have seen they're trying to tell you the economy is bad, and it's not.
Ratings are dropping
Even
like
on immigration,
like rocks. But there's one
Dropping like rocks. Isn't that an interesting thing to say, considering what we've seen out in California?
like under 30%. Current support right now, though, is that 66% of the American public actually thinks it is crime enough to be undocumented.
This is where it gets good, people. They know the polling. 66% of Americans believe that if you are an illegal alien, that is actually a criminal act, and they are freaking out.
And therefore deported.
That it's criminal to be undocumented?
Yes, it is not. You know how the disagreement was in the beginning? We were told it was going to be violent criminals. And I think everyone at this table would agree. Haul out violent criminals, fine. But a very important distinction was 60% of the American public, 2/3 of independents, 90% of Republicans, and just a little under half of Democrats think the crime is in being undocumented.
Even if it's a civil offense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at her. Look at her face. I just love this. Sunny's face.
So what I'm saying is a massive amount of this country actually agrees with not how he's doing it, but with what he's doing.
So there's
I think the strategy here is he's leaning into a scene right now, creating a bigger thing because it is the one thing that he remains
well, let's fix
Actually,
that right now because it is not illegal to be undocumented. It is not a crime to be undocumented.
But what they're
People
saying
are
is
not.
Folks, if you are here undocumented, it actually is illegal. If you crossed our border illegally, if you overstayed your visa, if you didn't show up for court, you are an illegal citizen. You have broken our laws, and we have every right to kick you out.
Problem is that they
no,
are
but I'm just saying we need to put that information out
But
there.
I don't
it is
think-
a civil infraction.
Yeah, and I don't
not
think
criminal.
it's actually broadly a misunderstanding. I think that 60% of Americans believe it's a civil offense and that if you come here and you're undocumented, that you should be deported.
But he's actually lost some points on the way he's handling immigration, not the border.
Absolutely.
And
But it's the only
think a
place
lot
he
of
remains
but
strong.
I think a lot of Americans voted for him on immigration, thinking he was going to deport gang members and criminals.
Yes, but they have a problem with the gang members, folks. This is where they're lying so strongly and they're freaking out, folks. They're melting down. It is so beautiful. But you have to understand that they wanted Kilmar Abrego Garcia brought back to the U.S., even though he was a gang member. And now they're running like crazy because he was also trafficking porn. And I think children, I got to look that whole story up. I saw it blip across over the weekend while I was at my son's graduation.
And he is deporting our friends, our neighbors, mothers, fathers, people working hard to make America actually function. And this is not what I think a lot of people voted for.
Oh, I voted for it, folks. I voted for it. Have you noticed that these people are never concerned about the mothers or fathers here in the U.S. and about their ability to provide for their families because their wages are being destroyed by illegal immigrants? Unbelievable. Watch this. I'm going to give you guys another good one. This is really wild because this is actually a street interview with an illegal alien. And watch what he has to say.
We don't agree with the term illegal. We're undocumented.
Look, folks, you gotta stop. He doesn't agree with the term illegal.
Been here for thousands of years before you guys showed up, screwed up everything.
We screwed up everything. We showed up and screwed up everything. Sorry you couldn't win the war.
We think we should organize together with the U.S. working class and fight together and create a better system. We're anti-capitalist.
Oh, wait. We screwed it up by being capitalists? Oh, well, do tell. What works better than capitalism, sir?
We think socialism does work, real socialism, not Venezuela, not Cuba, not any of that crap that they try to sell us as socialism. And we believe it would be a more humane system that will.
In other words, all the socialist countries that are out there actually don't work.
Take care of most of all people's necessities.
Is there a country we can look to kind of model the socialism idea?
The only model would be Soviet Union.
He just said it. Folks, what would be the model? The Soviet Union.
First 4 years. After that, it became a mess. Sadly.
So wait, just the first 4 years of the Soviet Union. But after that, it became a mess. Why, folks? Why did it become a mess? Could it be that absolute power corrupts absolutely? This is wild.
There was a bureaucrat leadership that grew out of that, but it has to do mainly with the attacks of the U.S. and all big powers against that system that was working. In the few years that it lasted, it showed the world that it could do much better than capitalism.
I've never seen anybody so ill-informed and so dumb in my life. It absolutely blows my mind. I can't believe they took him as their interview. I've got here. I'm going to pull this in. I did a video earlier, folks. Here, but let me pull this in. So my friend Holly, she's been on here before. Ride season ops breakdown. This year's ride season starts like any other PR campaign. Months of planning have gone into this via the NGO network coordination and funding. Okay, Data Republic covered that. I did this on my video. You got to go look at my video I did an upload on earlier today. And it talks about the undercover video, and you've got to watch that to see this actually take place. Comms infrastructure has been established with NGOs using their member databases, social media accounts, websites, influencers to spread the word. This is all how they built this protest, folks. This didn't spring up overnight. This isn't organic, okay? Deeper infrastructure includes regional, local NGOs taking the lead on coordination. Notice there are clusters of specialized NGOs forming, e.g. La Raza Command and Control. Groups like the Colorado Immigrants' Rights Coalition specialize in ICE reporting and pro bono legal services. You get the gist. They come together, okay? They offer each other support. There's such a well-written piece here that she did. The date is picked for the ride to kick off, a symbolic date. This year, it's June 14th for the 250-year celebration in D.C. and President 47's birthday. Okay, so that's Flag Day. Steps 2 to 5 are how a typical marketing plan is structured for a product launch. Set up your comm support and pick the launch date. Weeks, sometimes months prior to the hard launch date, you start working with media depending upon your budget. Ride season has a huge budget, folks. Okay, don't think this, again, is organic. This is Soros funded. It's NGO funded. This is all coming. Your tax dollars are funding this. Okay, the media narrative, of course, is ICE bad. What does building momentum look like? Politicians holding press conferences on your related topic, influencers, pundits going on corporate media to opine on the topic, regional and local polls making news, e.g. Denver mayor, we will not comply with ICE. Okay, they all try to sound tough, right? Like Hakeem Jeffries testifies in front of Congress, etc. NGOs stirring the pot with their members, and in this case, very effective rogue judges protecting criminal aliens by defying the Constitution and administration on deportations that captured headlines for months. All of this is designed to raise awareness, capture headlines, and to shape public opinion via propaganda. It's all coordinated, but it's not matching luggage. Then the soft launch and so on. Okay, now look at this. Far left border extremists on Reddit are telling their comrades bring U.S. flags to the Los Angeles insurrection so that it doesn't look like Mexican and foreign nationals are leading the violence. So this is a Reddit page out there. They are doing this. They're calling for this. And my video, actually, if you go look at the video I did earlier today, you will be able to see the undercover video where the guy is actually finding out about the U.S. flags. So make sure you go watch that one. It's the only upload I've done today. It's easy to find on my page. And if you're new, again, please do subscribe. But let's hear what Nancy Pelosi has to say about it.
and I say this as a former party chair, when there is a gathering, a large gathering of people, the anarchists see it as an opportunity and they move in.
No. It's much deeper than that. We just covered this. The anarchists are part of it. They're all part of the planning.
So always have to be careful whether you see a burned car, a broken window, or whatever it is. It may be the exuberance of the moment, but it may be the anarchist setting in. I heard one of the former police chiefs of Los Angeles speak about this on Sunday.
Okay, so that's interesting. She talks about the exuberance of the moment. Folks, it's just the exuberance of the moment, or it's the exuberance of the moment, or what was the other term she used, folks? I was pulling something up and it did not come up right. The exuberant, or the anarchists. Of course it's anarchists, folks. That's who's doing this. That's the whole point of this stuff. It's anarchy. That's what they're looking for. Okay? Now, here we go. I got a quick word from my sponsor. You guys know Mike Lindell's in trial out in Colorado. Okay? Tina Peters, there's some big news breaking in hers. One of Trump's attorneys is now on the case for Tina Peters. Okay, very important. That was a big move. Donald Trump is very involved in Tina Peters. A lot of people are saying, what is Donald Trump doing? He's done a lot. He's had the DOJ has looked into it. Now he's got an attorney. He cannot pardon Tina Peters. It is a state level charge. Mike is out there on another trial right now. It's happening. I've updated on that twice. I'll do some more updates on that as the week goes on. But folks, for a limited time, $100 in free digital gifts when you order $100 or more, mypillow.com/lumberjack, or call the 800 number. That's what I always tell people to do, 1-800-568-2865. Again, that's 1-800-568-2865. Okay, we've got the Giza sheets, still a phenomenal deal on the Giza sheets, folks. That is $49.98, any color, any size. The kitchen towel sale as low as $9.99. The Rev 7, the best energy drink you'll ever use. And right now, My Cross is only 50% off. Folks, there's just phenomenal deals right now on MyPillow. Mike is trying to raise money because of the legal fees of fighting this case against Eric Coomer out in a Colorado courtroom. So make sure you go support Mike. But you guys all see, like with all this video that I've provided with you with, the polls, everything, how the media narrative is falling apart. Do you all get why I'm so excited about this story? Why I'm so excited about those poll numbers that Harry Anton showed? Why I'm so excited about the meltdown on The View? So often they were able to control this, but the media landscape is changing. And you guys do share my streams. You comment, you like, you do so much to help me get the word out. So I thank you so much for that. They are going to try another summer of love, and it's not going to work the same way it did last time, because everybody in America is starting to get tired of this crap. Even, okay, these people who are here legally, who have ties to the country of origin of these people. Here, I'm going to show you one other thing, okay? I got to share this with you. I wasn't going to, but I'm going to add it in here quick, okay? I don't want to go too long, but look at this. Several months ago, LA Scanner was in a group chat I own until someone came forward with court documents proving that the owner behind the account is a convicted felon. I immediately removed him. Now, after seeing him dox ICE agents, this is a big thing that just happened on X. This guy was doxing ICE agents. I've got no other choice but to release this information. Fun little fact, as a convicted felon, you're not allowed to own or operate a police scanner, yet that's how this guy was doing this. The download is below. Superior Court of California. Now, this guy, Jack Quillen, he's an award-winning photographer, folks. I'm sure his photography isn't as good as mine, but I'll let you be the judge of that. But I feel really bad for not coming forward with this sooner. So here's some of his, because if you go to his page right now, his account is suspended. Okay? From pursuits all the way to when your taxes are due, I've got you covered with the news in Los Angeles. So he started out protecting his posts, okay? And then he told Insider Wire, remove that post about me immediately. Now the account doesn't exist, okay? And he responded, Insider Wire, FAFO. Well, you guys are I made actually 20K today. I really appreciate it, and so on. But this is what he's saying. I'm launching a campaign against you and every last one of Trump's racist supporters. Silence is no longer an option. It's time to expose the hate and fight back. Trust me, no one's going to buy your crappy shirts. So who else stands with President Trump? So what happened here, folks, is he was exposing ICE agents, the location of the hotels, of the National Guard, and so on, so they could get rioters to surround them and put them in harm's way. Okay? And it's insane, but expected from a stalker. Please feel free to post. Okay, so all of these accounts are interacting on this. He said, holy shit, how certain are you about this? This is pretty serious. Insider Wire said, I did a full investigation and I put my whole account at risk to post about this. It is 100% true. So the guy's a stalker. Now, that's not really surprising when you consider that he's basically stalking ICE agents online and posting their whereabouts. So Jack Quillen, and then he's also apparently a convicted felon. This is wild. But people, these leftists are so radical. There's nothing they won't do to try to destroy America and the founding ideals of this country. Again, please smash that like. Keep chatting it up, but please go check out my sponsor, MyPillow, mypillow.com/lumberjack for big savings on the best sleep products. And go check out, you guys, I don't know. You guys do what you want. I mean, I'm telling you, silver and gold, I don't know. It's never been worth nothing. I don't trust the dollar right now. And this is legal tender now in 3 states. Okay? You can get more info on it by texting Lumberjack to 989-898. You can also get, that's an Australian coin, 1.5 ounces. These are silver eagles. You can get Ms. Pneumatic stuff if you want, whatever. Birch Gold, text Lumberjack to 989-898. Folks, thank you so much for joining me on this stream. I hope you're, again, as excited as I am about this news. All right? Keep fighting the good fight, folks. Peace out. We'll see you on the next episode.